Hi guys, it's Keisha again today at beautifullyflawedfitness.com. If you haven't checked out my website, hop on over there and check it out. Go through some of my blogs. You'll find some great content, everything involving fitness, nutrition, and lifestyle. So definitely go check it out if you haven't done that. Today, this YouTube video is going to be about self-love and some of the things that I have learned about it in my journey of bodybuilding. Many of the things actually really surprised me, and specifically this area I'm going to talk about today, it was probably something that was never on my radar, and if it was on my radar, it was probably extremely low. And today it is one of the top things that I invest in. And what I'm going to be sharing today has to do with investing in yourself. Now, that can look a lot of different ways for a lot of people, and self-care and self-love can take on very many forms, from spending some time by yourself to think and process, to buying yourself a new outfit because you never spend money on yourself, to taking that course or going back to university to get your degree, or going after your dreams. Self-love and self-care is as unique as each individual and each individual's journey. And we all have a unique journey. We all have unique struggles, unique challenges, and we all have unique desires and pleasure as well. So for me, when I started bodybuilding about 3.5 years ago, it was literally the first decision I had made in 32 years that invested in myself. And I know that sounds really weird, but I'll give you a little backdrop. I grew up in a family of 14 children. I'm the oldest. I grew up in a family where their whole livelihood and way of living was nonprofit work, and work that helped a impoverished, low-income community. So I grew up always thinking about other people and always sharing, always doing things together, and always being responsible for somebody else. And these are things that I'm very thankful for. It shaped me into the person that I am today. It ended up shaping my career choices when I graduated from university. I ended up moving to Thailand, which is where I still live today, and which is the beautiful background that you see behind you. I moved to Thailand, though, 12 years ago to work with women and children who are sex trafficked and exploited. And this is the type of work that I have been doing. Then I became a mom, and I have 2 little boys. I'm also a wife, and if you're anything like me, you yourself, your personal care, your self-love, your personal development, however you want to call it, it gets pushed down, right? And so not only life, but also just my growing up atmosphere and world was all about others and all about serving and helping others. Unfortunately, it came for me at the expense of not doing anything for my own personal development. And in the beginning, I never saw it that way, and I didn't see how it could be hurtful. However, as the years went by, and as you can tell in my mid-30s now, I realized that I was living life for other people, and I was not spending any time focusing on myself or developing my own self, or even doing things based on what I desired. I was always doing things that were the responsible thing to do, the right thing to do, the good thing to do, at the expense of the things that I found pleasure in or joy in. And it took me getting to a really bad place in life for me to start asking the question, what do I want? And that may sound selfish to some people, but coming from my background and my experience and my journey, it literally was the first time that I ever asked myself that question. What do I want? And it took me months of wrestling with it because I had all these negative associations with just that question. I felt like I was being selfish. I felt like I was being unresponsible. I felt all these bad, yucky feelings on the inside. And I finally, though, was able to push away all that negative and answer that question, what do I want? And at the moment, the one thing that I wanted was to compete in a bodybuilding show. Now that's another story for a whole nother day, but that was the first choice that I ever made because it sounded fun and it was just something that I wanted to do. There was no strings attached, there was no big purpose behind it, there was no reason to serve other people with it, there was no like grand like mission involved, which my whole life had been that way up until that point. It was just simply something that sounded fun to do that I wanted to do. And as I made that decision, I then made the next decision, which was hiring a coach so that I could get in the best shape that I possibly could so that I could compete. Now, I have never spent money like I have spent since I've been on this journey of bodybuilding. I ended up hiring a fitness coach, I hired a nutrition coach, I hired a posing coach. Those are just the coaches that I ended up hiring, 3 coaches. Then I ended up paying for like the outfits to wear for the show, which all you wear is a bikini, but it was the most expensive bikini I've ever bought in my entire life, covered in Swarovski crystals. Then you had all the jewelry that you bought. You had the hair and the makeup and the tanning that went with it and the heels, and then you had to pay to do the show, and then you had to pay for the video and the photos. I had to pay to fly to the show, and I had to pay for a hotel because, you know, I did it back in America and I live here in Thailand. I paid for hair removal, I paid for recovery like supplements, protein, I paid for massages, muscle tension massages, I paid for coaches to help me with my mobility and my flexibility, I paid for multiple gyms wherever I was traveling to, I paid for meal prepping like utensils and scales and weights, and the amount of money that I have invested in this journey could far exceed what I was capable of investing in 3 years ago when I started. However, every little thing that I invested in has brought me to this place today, and it has been the single best thing that I have ever done because I've learned so much about myself, but I've also learned how to work around my weaknesses. So one of my weaknesses is thinking too much or being in my mind too much. It literally freezes me and paralyzes me, and I get really overwhelmed with the thought processes of how to get places. However, my strengths are I'm super consistent and I can follow through. So having a coach has been the best hack to achieving my dreams and my goals than I could ever imagine. A coach for me lays out the plan, and then I get to live out my strengths and just follow it to a T. I don't have to spend all this time and this energy processing it and figuring it out and figuring out my plan and then wondering if what I'm doing is good enough or not good enough. And it has snowballed into currently now I have a business coach, I still have a fitness coach, I have a mobility coach, and I also have people on the side who mentor me in my relationships, mentor me in my lifestyles. I paid for like programs that I follow when it comes to living a minimalist lifestyle, because for me, I love living minimally. I've been doing it for about 8 years now, and living minimally for me gives me the energy and space inside to create new things and to go after my dreams and spend less time on the daily to do things that need to be done. So I pay money to follow programs that help me maintain my minimalist lifestyle. I have mentors that help me with my emotional and my mental well-being and help work those out with me. And I am just trucking along over here, investing in myself, not just time, but money. And I really think that where your heart is, that your money is. And if you really have a dream, then you ask the question, what's it gonna take? And for me, what it took is getting somebody to walk alongside of me and having a plan, and me just living out my strengths and following out the plan to a T. The last 3 years, I've probably achieved more things than I have in the past 30 years of my entire life. I have a best-selling book out. I wrote a book. I have competed in body show. I've competed in 2 pageants, the Miss America pageant and the Miss Continental pageant. I have started my own company, and I just have more dreams and more things on my list to do. I get up early in the morning, and I stop making excuses. Probably that's the biggest thing that has come from this, is investing in myself and putting the money where my dreams are and where my heart is, has helped me not play the victim card anymore and helped me not question myself, because now it's all about getting things done because I have invested in it. So leave me a comment if this video was helpful. Let me know how you've invested in yourself, whether it's something you do on the daily, if it's something you've purchased. Let me know if you've ever had a coach. I'd love to know how they helped you out. Did it work for you? Did it not work for you? So leave a comment. Don't forget to subscribe so that you get the updates on more videos. And again, check out my blog post at www.beautifullyflawedfitness.com.